Hello, Internet. Welcome to Wednesday Serial. I'm just going to have to one-shot this off my phone this week. Not preferable. Short story is my computer's fan is dying. I looked into it. Lubricating is a very temporary issue, so I have to buy a new fan. In order to get the fan, which is a specialized part, there is only one website left in the world that will sell it to me here in America. And they're taking their sweet-ass time getting it from their distributor. So, hopefully I can do it normal like next week. Before I jump into it, there's a couple things I want to talk about. First, I am softening up to DC. So, I picked up a pile of Wonder Woman issues, and then I picked up some, Batman and Robin issues, though less than the Batman and Robin, and there's still one Wonder Woman issue missing. If anyone can tell me a good website to pick those up, that would be super. If anyone knows anyone at a discount or anything, that's what I mean. But let's get straight into the books. First up this week is, kind of the big one, Batman: Death of the Family. Before I even start talking about this, Minutia Minute did such an awesome preempt review that I actually just talked to my comic shop and I signed up for the whole event, every tie-in, everything. So I'm going full out on this because the Joker is like my favorite DC character, which is something I mentioned elsewhere recently. You'd have to look for it. This issue is really playing on the idea that we don't see the Joker until the very last page, and even then we don't get a really good look, and they're playing off with this ripped off face thing, which makes me wonder if that was an editorial thing or what, but it's interesting. But we get a lot of this book in the police station where the Joker's cracking these half jokes, and it kills me because the Joker's not finishing the jokes. He's just starting them, and then everyone's going, no, and screaming. It's like, oh, you heard this one too? Oh, you heard this one too? And it's menacing, but it's kind of not the full dark humor that really attracts me to the character. But you get a lot of it, and you get a lot of seeing that this is tying to the first Joker appearance that goes all the way back to Batman #1. And that's going to tie into big parts, so we're going to get a lot of the and the backup is entirely about Harley and the Joker, and you see a little bit of the Red Hood bit there, and even Harley's scared by where the Joker's going right now, and the Joker plays this really cruel joke on her, which is it's kind of the same relationship as the cartoon, but it's just so much, it just shows how much darker this is, where the New 52's at, and it's weird because the New 52's really been criticized for being nothing but melodrama, not having any fun, and not being just comics. And this is like twisting that in the weirdest way, and you almost have to appreciate it for that alone. Much like the most recent issue of Amazing Spider-Man, this book is nothing but setup, so I didn't love the issue, but I mean, you can just kind of see the things to come, and it's really intriguing. Now, what was worse for me was the Batgirl tie-in, and if you didn't know, these covers are interesting because they are, what's the term, die cut? I don't know. But you get the Joker mask with the character underneath, and that's just fucking awesome. But, this book still sells for $2.99, so figure that out. This plays mostly into Batgirl fighting this character called Nightfall, which in a lot of ways kind of feels like her Joker, whereas the Joker is just stupid, smart, and crazy, and zany, and mad, and just, chaos. Batgirl, more than order, is about intelligence and finding, order through, more like order as in a librarian standpoint. in a weird way. More of a knowledgeable order. I think you see what I'm trying to get at with Batgirl versus Batman. This Nightfall is about understanding, categorizing evil or madness or chaos, even in a way that when you find the character has actually gone to Arkham and gone understood criminals' mentality, so she can study it, so that she could make them suffer in a way that so that justice could be held in her own eyes. And it's really interesting to see that. And then the last bit of this Batgirl book takes place after that confrontation, slowly goes in to Nightfall when you hear that the Joker's out and Batgirl kind of flips. So, this is interesting, but how much it has to do with the tie-in, I don't know. It feels like they kind of slapped on a few pages for the tie-in to go in. But what kills me the most is I'm reading this, and if you guys have been watching the show, you know my deal against Batgirl, and I might have to reiterate it, just not tonight. And this issue's so good, and I'm seeing why Simone wanted to do this, and it's killing me because I love Simone, so I might have to check out some of this, because these books, and then Wonder Woman, Batman, Robin that I was picking, was all because, Minutia Minute, Sleepy Reader, and some of which Ghost Critic and people are talking about these issues being so great. And I'm really starting to warm up to this little corner of the DCU, and I don't care if it's all Bat-centric. It seems to be all the best stuff DC's putting out. And then we had Stumptown, and the case furthers, and I wouldn't want to spoil this for anyone. And people, if you're not reading Stumptown, when a comic like this comes out and you're not picking it up, why are you reading comics? But in here we get, a huge chunk of the PI story, and this kind of had the bit that solidifies for me the PI stories that I like versus the ones I don't. And it's simply that when your PI starts arguing with the person who's paying them, who gave them the case, and starts really pressing on them in a way, you see that here, and you see this potential drug thread come up, and you also finally get to see the guitar come up. But even with getting a few of the answers in a way, and seeing where some of the characters lie, which their motivations are bigger answers than just a few simple facts, it just makes you wonder, well, then what's really happening? And instead of just, getting more questions with an answer, the way this is crafted is every time that you see another little bit of the part answered, the answer itself creates more questions, which is an even, in my mind, better crafted mystery. But it's so hard to review and talk about a mystery book because you don't want to. Every moment is spoilers. Alright. Scarlet Spider versus Venom. We have Minimum Carnage Part 2, and this issue is so much more of what I was looking for. We finally see these characters. They fight a little bit, and then they start talking, and you see where they are in relevance to Spider-Man. I kind of understand a bit more why these characters are different now that we're seeing them together, which is interesting. Both of them are kind of a darker take on Spider-Man. And Scarlet Spider just kind of hates Spider-Man on some level. Yeah, sure, they have an understanding and all that, but Venom still reveres Spider-Man on some level, and you see that come through, and you see them fight Carnage, or go off to fight Carnage, and Scarlet Spider is so reluctant, because now Carnage is in the microverse, and Scarlet's like, fuck it. He's not in Houston anymore, he's not my problem. Venom's like, the minute he's out of the microverse, he's right back in Houston. We have to deal with this now. And you see them get geared up, and then what kills me about this, and the team up, and especially any team up that Agent Venom's been in, is the minute that they go and traverse whatever area, they get split up again. And it's annoying, because I wanted this buddy-buddy deal. Sort of Cable, Deadpool, Green Lantern, Green Arrow. I wanted a buddy deal on this with two different kinds of Spider-Man, and they're splitting it up. Luckily, this is 6 parts, but we're getting so much weirdness, and without the character interaction, just more weirdness, it pulls you right out right after it brought me right back in.